Archangel Michael is watching you scroll again. You keep ignoring the one video that could have shifted everything. This is your final warning. Open it before the gate closes. He watches again. The commander of heaven's army, the guardian of destiny, Archangel Michael, has seen your eyes pass over this message more than once. He has watched as your thumb moved past it. He has waited in the stillness of your spirit. And yet again, here you are, scrolling, pausing, hovering, feeling that strange pressure in your chest, that pull behind your eyes, that whisper in your soul that this is not just another video. No, this is not entertainment. This is not background noise. This is not content. This is your crossroads. Heaven does not repeat itself for entertainment. The Spirit does not send the same trumpet twice without reason. You have ignored the whisper. You have missed the signs. But grace has kept pulling. Mercy has kept calling. And now, the time has come when silence will become accountability. This is your final warning. The gate is closing. Not everyone will understand this message. Not everyone was called to hear it. But you feel it. In your bones. In the pit of your stomach. In the deep ache of your soul. You have felt off lately, haven't you? Restless. Like something's trying to get your attention, but the noise won't let you hear. That's because this message was scheduled in the spirit before your distractions ever arrived. Archangel Michael is not just watching passively. He is assigned to guard decisions, divine ones. He stands at gates. He holds back darkness. And he records moments like this. Yes, even now, the scroll of your obedience is being written. This is a test of recognition, a test of alignment, a test of response. If you feel the fire behind these words, it's because heaven already knows your name. You have one moment, this one. You have one gate, this gate. You have one choice, to obey or delay. What you do next may define what opens, or what closes, in the next season of your life. It is written, obedience is better than sacrifice. And now obedience means stop scrolling. Obedience means lenient. Obedience means don't delay this moment again. The gate is open, but not for long. Type I receive in the comments if this message stopped you. Blessing code 777 had been released over your path. Heaven is not silent. The throne has stirred. The recorders have written. And now, Archangel Michael speaks. I was sent for this moment. I was positioned for your awakening. I was commanded to stand beside the very scroll you keep passing over. And now I sound the trumpet one final time. Do you hear it? That thunder in your spirit. That sudden weight pressing on your chest. That's not emotion. That's not your imagination. That's the echo of eternal urgency. That's the spiritual gravity pulling you into divine timing. You did not stumble here. You did not wander into this message. You were summoned, called, pursued by something greater than your understanding. Within the next few hours, your decisions, the conscious ones and the ones you think are small, will shape the spiritual terrain of your next season. This is not exaggeration. This is prophecy. This is not about fear. This is about alignment. And yet, how many times have you ignored the invitation? How many times have you whispered maybe later when heaven was saying now? How many times have you postponed transformation while the angels stood in position, waiting for your yes? How many more hours will pass before you respond to what you already know deep inside? Ignored messages delay divine movement. Every skipped word, every passed over moment, creates resistance in the realm you cannot see. And yet, God, in His mercy, sends the warning again. But let it be known, this time is different. The clock has changed. The scroll has turned. The final invitation hath been sealed with fire. And the one reading these words is no longer a casual observer. No. You are being called, not by the voice of man, but by the voice that rides on thunder. The voice that splits atmospheres. The voice that sends angels to war. Archangel Michael does not move lightly. He only appears where eternal weight is at stake. His sword is drawn, not in threat, but in covering. His presence is proof that this moment matters more than you know. You've been searching, looking for answers in screens, signs, sounds. But heaven says, the answer has already appeared. It's whether you will obey. This video found you not by accident, but by divine agitation. Heaven has pushed this message into your feed again and again, until finally, you paused. Because this is not just a message. This is a turning point. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are marked. But marking is not enough. Movement is what seals your deliverance. Don't scroll past again. Don't overthink what your spirit already knows. This is your call to stillness, your call to obedience, your call to answer. Archangel Michael is here, not with words of comfort, but with words of commission. He comes as a watcher and as a witness. He sees the ones who delay. He marks the ones who respond. And He records what happens in the quiet corners of your soul when conviction strikes. This is your turning. This is your summons. This is the gate moment. What you choose now determines what is sealed in the next season. And this isn't about watching another video. This is about stepping into the message your future has been waiting for. Type I will not miss it if this message is shifting you right now. Lesson code 444 is releasing angelic covering over your life. They said you were just tired. They said you needed rest, a break, something to quiet your mind. But what they didn't know, what you've never been able to explain, is that your soul has been aching, not from exhaustion, but from disconnection. Because deep down, you're not just tired. You're spiritually misaligned. And now you're beginning to feel the pressure build. The screen that once distracted you now convicts you. The scrolling that once numbed you now haunts you. The silence you used to avoid is now chasing you. Why? Because heaven is drawing near. Because Archangel Michael is standing beside you, not just observing, but intervening. There has been a war in the shadows over your attention. Yes, a silent sabotage, not with loud explosions, but with endless distractions. Scroll after scroll, click after click, image after image. And all the while, your destiny sat unopened like a sealed envelope, gathering dust. The video that could have realigned your future kept returning, but your finger kept swiping past it. Do you not see the strategy? Do you not feel the resistance? This is not normal distraction. This is spiritual interference. This is manipulation from forces that fear your alignment. Because they know, oh yes, they know, what happens when you finally see clearly. When you finally say yes. The unseen ones, they've been watching. They've seen you pause at messages like this. They've seen you hesitate when heaven was speaking. And they whisper lies into your restlessness. It's not that serious, you can listen later, you've heard this before, but even now, something in you is rising up and saying, no more. Because even if others don't understand why you felt off, why you've been crying at night, why you felt like you're floating without grounding, you know this isn't surface. This is soul deep. This is eternal. This is spiritual. And yes, there's been emotional tension. You've tried to find words for it. You've called it anxiety, depression, fatigue. But in truth, it's disruption. A divine disruption. The Spirit has been pressing against the walls of your routine, trying to wake you up from a scrolling trance. Because what you call boredom, heaven calls bondage. You're not just fighting procrastination, you're fighting principalities. And every time you ignore the pull, the delay grows heavier. Every time you silence the voice, your breakthrough inches further away. Every time you scroll past the message, the war intensifies. This is not just about missing content. This is about missing divine communication. This is not just a video. This is a gate. The Spirit has kept circling this message around you for a reason. It wasn't an algorithm. It wasn't randomness. It was a strategic collision between the word you need and the moment your soul was ready to receive it. And yet, you kept delaying. But even in the delay, the mercy of God pursued you. Even as you overlooked the signs, Archangel Michael stood watching, waiting, holding back what should have collapsed. Covering you even as you did understand the war happening around you. Now, the atmosphere has shifted. Now, the silence is screaming. Now, the angels have assembled. Because now, you're beginning to feel it. Your delay was never just a personality flaw. It was spiritual resistance. The enemy whispered you into apathy. He offered distraction as false peace. He numbed you with noise. But not anymore. This moment breaks the rhythm. This is the pivot point of your soul. This is where you say, enough. This is where you open the video, open your ears, open your heart, and let heaven rewire what the world tried to deaden. Your silence hath been noticed. Your delay has been recorded. But your obedience, even now, will be honored. Type I am awakening if you feel this shift hitting your soul. Blessing code 888 has been ignited over your next decision. If this message is igniting something deep in your spirit, if you feel the fire, the pressure, the urgency, then I ask you to help us carry this word to others who need it before the gate closes on them too. This isn't about us. It's about the souls that are still scrolling, still trapped, still deaf to the warnings. Your support helps us flood timelines with truth, with light, with oil that breaks spiritual chains. As it is written, those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. Proverbs 11:25. And today, you can become the river someone else drinks from. I felt led to say this. If you've ever said, God, use me to reach people, this is your moment to respond. You can give through YouTube Super Thanks membership or through our PayPal link in the description. When you sow, you're not just donating, you're declaring, I will not let this fire stop with me. And I believe with all my heart that heaven will honor your giving as a prophetic act of warfare and breakthrough. Release your seed. Ignite the reach. Unlock your reward. Give now. Give boldly. Give like destiny depends on it, because it does. You thought this was just distraction. You thought you were just tired, just busy, just disorganized. But let me tell you plainly, what you're wrestling with is not natural. It is not casual. It is not random. It is a war. A spiritual war. A strategic, targeted, and ancient war over your alignment, your assignment, and your awakening. This is not about attention spans. This is about altars. Heaven has watched the patterns forming, the late night scrolling, the foggy mornings, the emotional numbness. It looks harmless on the surface, but in the spirit, it's been lethal. It has stolen hours. It has stolen hunger. It has stolen holy sensitivity. And now, the battle has reached its climax. Because the one who was meant to rise has instead settled for silence. The one who was meant to run has started to flee. And so, Archangel Michael hath been released, not to comfort, but to confront. Understand this. You are under attack not because of your weakness, but because of your weight. You are not being delayed because you are lost. You are being delayed because your destiny is known in hell. The resistance you're feeling is not proof that you're failing. It is proof that you are called. Your name has been heard in both heaven and the underworld. And while God has assigned angels to guide you, the enemy has assigned spirits to confuse you. That's why every time you try to focus, something interrupts. It's why every time you get close to breakthrough, something distracts. That's why messages like this find you again and again, because this war will not stop until you wake up. The delay is not innocent. The hesitation is not neutral. Every "I'll come back later" has been a silent agreement with the enemy to keep you bound just one more day. And every day of delay has been a stolen scroll, a day that was meant for activation, hijacked by apathy. But today is different. Today the conflict is being named. Today the war is being exposed. Because the true enemy isn't just distraction, it's disconnection. It's detachment from divine instruction. It's the slow fading of urgency until your spirit becomes passive and your assignment becomes buried beneath endless entertainment. The enemy didn't need to destroy you. He just needed to disengage you. But the Watcher of Scrolls, the Prince of Heavenly Hosts, Archangel Michael, he has seen every moment. Every night you felt the pull but turned away. Every divine nudge you silenced with one more reel. Every video you skipped that had your word hidden inside. And he does not forget. He has recoded your hesitations. He has guarded the gates that were meant to open. He has shielded you from the destruction that should have reached you by now, all while waiting for one thing, your alignment. Because God does not move with noise, he moves with obedience. And obedience requires you to see clearly. The enemy has tried to blur your vision. But today, clarity returns. Today, you are not called to fight with your strength. You are called to fight with your surrender. That is your sword. That is your shield. That is your strategy. Obedience breaks interference. Submission silences confusion. Stillness summons the armies of heaven. So ask yourself, what if this is more than just spiritual warfare? What if this is a divine interview? What if this moment is heaven asking, can you hear me through the noise? Can you obey through the delay? Can you recognize the gate even when it's disguised as a simple scroll? Because the gate is real, and the gate is closing. Archangel Michael stands beside it, sword drawn, scroll open, eyes fixed on your next move. What you do in this moment determines whether your spirit steps forward or your cycle repeats. This is not the time to play small. This is not the time to assume tomorrow will wait. This is the time to obey without evidence, to respond without a plan, to say yes before the door disappears. The war ends when you choose obedience. The war ends when you finally say, I see what's happening and I'm stepping into the light. Type I choose alignment in the comments if this message is exposing the real war behind your delay. Blessing code 555 is now resting upon your surrender. Let this next line ring through your bones. Time is no longer waiting. There has been a countdown ticking in the heavens, not a countdown of fear, but of fulfillment. Not to punish you, but to push you. And now, you stand within the final stretch of mercy's reach. The final lap before the door that was once wide open begins to narrow. The gate that was held open by grace will not remain that way forever. For the Spirit has spoken. Within 72 hours, decisions will solidify, and hesitation will transform into loss. You must understand this. The delay you once thought harmless is about to become a barrier. And there is a plot, not imagined but real. Something, where someone, has been assigned to confuse you in this hour. A voice has been planted near you, speaking distraction in disguise. A pattern has been formed around you, designed to weaken your alertness. And even now, something is trying to whisper, this is too intense. It's not that serious. But hear me clearly, that voice is a counterfeit. That voice is not from the throne room. That voice is the final resistance between you and the gate. Because the truth is this, you're closer than you realize. The enemy knows it. That's why the pressure has increased. That's why your clarity has been foggy, your emotions unstable, your sleep disturbed. That's why every time you feel like you're about to move forward, something trivial suddenly demands your attention. It's not random, it's warfare. Because breakthrough often hides behind chaos. There's a confrontation coming, not with a person, but with your assignment. Heaven has waited for your yes. Hell has tried to prevent it. And now, the Spirit is sounding the final alarm through this message. What you feel in your chest right now is not panic. It's the pressure of destiny trying to break through the membrane of delay. A tension in your spirit is the birth pang of divine timing about to collide with your obedience. But here's the mystery. God will not force the moment. He will reveal it. He will anoint it. He will surround it with angels. But He will never override your will. That's why this message feels weighty, because the heavens are standing still, watching to see how you respond. Do you feel it yet? That inner urgency. The strange sense that something is coming, even if you can't name it. That's the Spirit's way of saying, move now. Don't delay again. Don't scroll past this moment like you did last time. Because the gate you keep passing by is starting to shift. And once it closes, it doesn't always open again. And let me tell you something very few dare to say. not every opportunity returns. Yes, God is merciful. Yes, He restores. But there are appointed times, fixed windows, divine intersections, and when you miss them, something in the spirit rearranges. That's not punishment. That's protocol. Because when heaven moves, it moves in alignment with those who are ready. And if you're not ready when the scroll opens, the shift can pass by. So hear the warning again, this time with fire behind the words. You are at the edge of a divine crossing. If you miss this, it may not return the same way. If you ignore this, the weight of your delay may cost more than you realize. But if you respond, if you obey, if you stop everything and say, "Yes, Lord, I will not miss it this time," the heavens will move on your behalf. The confrontation is coming, but not to harm you, to commission you. The pressure you feel is the mantle calling you into motion. This is not about fear. It's about fate. You have 72 hours. Not to panic, not to perform, but to position yourself. Pray. Repent. Listen. Realign. Open the message you once scrolled past and watch what unfolds. Because what's coming will either confirm your obedience or expose your hesitation. Type "I will not delay" if this warning hit your spirit. Blessing code 1919 is now activated over your next 72 hours. Now pause. Don't just hear this, feel it. Let every noise fade for just a moment. The world will still spin. The notifications will still come. The noise will return the moment you exit this message. But right here, in this moment of stillness, heaven is speaking directly to your spirit. Be still and know that I am God. Archangel Michael is not only a warrior, he is a watcher of silence. He does not fight recklessly. He fights strategically. And right now, the strategy heaven is releasing is not more activity, not more striving, not another plan. It's stillness. It's silence. It's surrender. You've been moving too fast, thinking too hard, reacting to everything, and that's exactly where the enemy wanted you, caught in a current of chaos, missing the whisper of wisdom. But now, heaven calls you to pause. Not permanently, not passively, but with purpose. Because silence is where secrets are spoken. Stillness is where strategies are downloaded. Obedience in stillness is the greatest act of war against a realm that thrives on noise. The enemy wants you busy, overwhelmed, distracted. He wants your mind filled with 1,000 tabs open, your emotions tangled in the opinions of others, your soul fogged with content that gives you everything except clarity. But Archangel Michael is drawing a line now. A line that says, step back. Withdraw. Let the noise collapse around you while heaven builds you in quiet. This next move will not be birthed in a crowd. It will not be confirmed in applause. It will not be validated by human approval. It will be conceived in silence and announced by obedience. You keep asking for clarity. You keep begging for direction. But God is saying, you cannot hear me until you silence everything else. The breakthrough is not coming in the chaos. It is hidden in the quiet. And some of you, right now, need to step away, not from the promise, but from the pressure. Not from your purpose, but from the people who keep pulling you out of spiritual rhythm. Go where the Spirit can speak. Shut the door. Power down the noise. Turn your phone off for 1 hour. Fast the voices that drain you. Withdraw, not in fear but in faith. Because what's coming next is holy. And you must be ready. Archangel Michael is not only protecting your timeline, he is preserving your timing. He stands at the edge of your obedience, shielding you from premature movement. Because some things are only unlocked in silence. Some answers are only released in surrender. And you are not late, but you must become still. This isn't oscillation, it's insulation. God is not pushing you away, he's pulling you in. He's not hiding from you, he's hiding you. From confusion, from delay, from warfare you don't need to fight right now. Because the battle belongs to the Lord. And while Michael wars in the unseen, your greatest weapon in this hour is your obedience to be still. You are not unprotected. You are not uncovered. You are not unseen. There are angels surrounding your house, covering your family, sealing your next step. Even now, divine shields are being raised above your name. Demonic assignments are being canceled mid-flight. Why? Because you chose to pause. Because you chose to step into silence, even when everything else screamed for your attention. Heaven is moving in your stillness. Answers are forming in the silence. Angels are warring while you wait. To hold your peace and watch God move. Type "I will be still" in the comments if you receive this moment of silence as your strategy. Blessing code 1212 is covering your stillness with supernatural clarity. Now rise. Solely. Not with noise, not with pride, but with power. Because the one who entered this message scrolling is not the same one who is still standing here now. You were once a drifter in the feed. Now you are a warrior in the fire. You were once swayed by distraction. Now you are anchored by revelation. You were once passive, waiting for something to change. Now you are the change. This is not just a shift in mood. This is a shift in mantle. You are no longer the scroller who ignores. You are the awakened one. You are the one who stopped, the one who listened, the one who heard the whisper behind the warning. You thought you were weak, inconsistent, unworthy. But the truth is, you were simply unaware of your authority. The enemy tried to distract you from it. The world tried to seduce you out of it. But the fire of this moment is reminding you of what was buried beneath the noise. You are chosen. You are marked. You are dangerous to darkness. Yes, dangerous. Because when you truly awaken, hell trembles. They hoped you would never notice how much power your yes carries. They hoped you would never see that every scroll past destiny was not about missed content. It was about delayed calling. But now you see. Now you know. And once you know, you cannot go back. So let this moment be your metamorphosis. You are not what they said you were. You are not lazy. You are not too late. You are not weak. You are not disqualified. You are not invisible. You are not behind. You are becoming. You are rising. You are breaking out of the fog and stepping into fire. The wings of angels are around you. The roar of heaven is inside you. And the weight you feel in your chest right now, that's not pressure, that's power being reintroduced to your spirit. The enemy thought if he could steal your focus, he could stall your formation. But God kept you, even in your delay. The Spirit hovered, even in your silence. And now, heaven declares over you, it is time. Time to speak again. Time to dream again. Time to command again. Time to walk like the scroll has been opened and the gate belongs to you. You are not a victim of distraction. You are a vessel of purpose. You are not a prisoner to your patterns. You are a prophet in your own house. And while others are still scrolling, still sleeping, still pretending they don't feel the pull, you are rising like fire, like breath, like the wind that breaks through stillness and brings shift. Let them call it intensity. Let them mock the urgency in your voice. Let them wonder why your language has changed and your habits are no longer the same. They don't need to understand, because they didn't hear what you heard. They didn't feel what you felt. They didn't experience the divine collision that's happening inside of you right now. You have stepped into a new realm. And the moment you said yes to the call, heaven began to release reinforcements. The weight of the old cycle is breaking. The delay is unraveling. The apathy is dissolving. Why? Because your identity is awakening. So rise with boldness. Walk like your name is written in fire. Pray like your words shift atmospheres. Rest like angels are guarding your next move. You are not just free, you are formidable. You are not just ready, you are recommissioned. This is not just a revival, it is a reintroduction of who you've always been. The silence birthed the shift. And now, the shift births your movement. Type I am awakening now in the comments if you feel this divine fire restoring your identity. Blessing code 2020 has been activated over your awakening. The veil is lifting now. Can you feel it? The pressure, the restlessness, the constant nudges in your spirit. They weren't random. They were not mood swings. They were not mere coincidence. No, beloved, they were tests. They were divine indicators of alignment. Heaven was not trying to frustrate you. Heaven was watching you. Watching to see if you would recognize the sacred wrapped in the ordinary. Watching to see if you would feel the tug behind the distraction. Watching to see if you would pause long enough to notice the one message that was never just another video. And now that you have, the Spirit reveals, every delay, every distraction, every cycle was never punishment. It was preparation. It was a test of trust, a test of clarity, a test of spiritual stamina. While you were asking, why do I keep missing it? The Spirit was whispering, I'm watching how you respond when it's hidden. While you were wrestling with what felt like wasted time, Archangel Michael was guarding the very gate that had your name sealed on it. The enemy wanted you to scroll right past this again, to roll your eyes, to ignore the inner alarm. But heaven kept circling it back, again, and again, and again, until this moment, the moment your eyes opened and your spirit remembered. This is your unlocking. Yes, this one. The moment you stopped and said, wait, this is different. The moment something gripped you beyond explanation. The moment you knew you couldn't go another day living numb to your own anointing. That's not emotion, that's alignment. Because here's the truth. There is a reason you couldn't settle. There is a reason your spirit wouldn't let you rest. There is a reason you felt this call for something greater even when you didn't have the words for it. Because you were never meant to live under the weight of your own delay. You were always meant to step through the gate at the appointed hour. And now, the gate is open. Archangel Michael has stood guard at this threshold for longer than you realize. He did not abandon you in your silence. He did not rebuke you for your confusion. Instead, he waited. He preserved the gate. He shielded the opening. He fought back forces you never saw, because your calling was too valuable to be surrendered to distraction. And now, as you read this, you are standing in the exact moment that was prophesied long ago. This is the scroll that you were meant to open. This is the message that was assigned to your timeline. This is the awakening heaven had planned before you even recognized you were asleep. God has not forgotten you. He is not withdrawn from you. In fact, the very delays you resented were the delays that preserved your promise. Because had you moved too early, you would have mishandled what's being handed to you now. But because you endured the wrestle, because you stayed long enough to let the shaking do its work, now the gate opens with fire, with favor, with force. Heaven already knows your name. It's been echoed in chambers your ears have never heard. It's been written on scrolls that angels have carried. You are not just seen, you are sealed. You are not just chosen, you are commissioned. And the only thing heaven was waiting for was your yes. So lift your head, square your shoulders, walk forward without apology. You're not entering as someone begging for purpose. You're entering as someone who has passed the test. The gate is still open, but only for a short time. And now that you've seen it, you are accountable to it. But this time, you won't miss it. You won't scroll past. You would ignore the pull. Because your spirit already said yes before your mind could catch up. Type yes to destiny if this prophetic revelation confirmed what your spirit already knew. Blessing code 1717 is resting upon your next step through the gate. If this revelation reached into your spirit, if the fire behind these words awakened something you almost forgot, then don't let it stop with you. There are others just like you still scrolling, still stuck in delay, still searching for the one message that will shift everything. Your support helps that message find them before it's too late. When you sow, you're not giving to a platform, you're sowing into deliverance. You're helping heaven interrupt someone else's scroll with destiny. Like rivers releasing manna, your giving becomes the oil that touches hearts and breaks strongholds. It's written, give, and it shall be given unto you, not just financially, but in clarity, in acceleration, in breakthrough. I heard this clearly. This is your moment to give as an act of spiritual warfare. You can support through YouTube Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description. As you sow, I release a prophetic blessing over your obedience. May what you unlock for others come back to you with divine speed. Don't just watch it happen. Be a part of it. Give boldly. Activate the flow. Put this fire further. This is your moment of movement. A more internal wrestling. No more hesitating at the edge of obedience. No more pacing around purpose like you're unworthy to enter it. Now is the time to activate. Not later. Not when you feel more prepared. Not when you think you've got it all figured out. The heavens have already spoken. The gate is open. And your response in this moment will either unlock what's been held back or allow it to remain sealed. Destiny is not passive. It does not fall into your lap. It is unlocked by declaration. is ignited by obedience. It is awakened through alignment. To speak, declare, announce to every principality, to every watcher, to every delay that once held you back, I am stepping into what belongs to me. Because here's the truth, heaven has already said yes. The scroll is already open. Archangel Michael has already cleared the path. The only thing left is your agreement. This is not about emotion. This is not about inspiration. This is not about hype. This is about spiritual engagement. This is about heaven listening for your voice. This is about the courts of the Spirit waiting to record your reply. Because your yes is not just a moment, it's a movement. Your agreement is not just symbolic, it's prophetic. And it carries weight in realms you've never even walked in yet. You cannot afford to remain neutral now. Not when you've come this far. Not when the signs, the warnings, the confirmations have all aligned like divine breadcrumbs leading you to this very gate. You have been entrusted with too much, protected from too much, delivered from too much. To stand here now and say, I'm not sure. No. Let ends here. Let every chain of hesitation break. Let every mental fog scatter. Let every voice that told you you're not ready be silenced by the roar of your purpose. This is the moment heaven had been waiting for, to hear your answer. Because heaven doesn't respond to indecision. It responds to faith. It responds to motion. It responds to the one who doesn't just feel the pull but says, I will follow it. Your activation is not a feeling, it's a choice. It's the moment you shift from consuming content to becoming the content. It's the line where you cross from being the one who watches purpose to being the one who walks in it. You said later long enough. You said maybe long enough. You circled the same place long enough. Now the command has gone forth. Move. Move in prayer. Move in repentance. Move in declaration. Move in spiritual boldness. Speak what heaven is saying about you, even if you don't feel it yet. Say it until your mind catches up. Prophesy until your atmosphere bends to your voice. Declare until everything in your life that's been sleeping is shaken into awakening. Let the redeemed of the Lord say why so. So say so. Say you are chosen. Say you are ready. Say you are breaking free. Say you are finished delaying. Say you are becoming. This is not about being perfect. This is about being positioned. God is not asking you to perform. He's asking you to respond. And in this moment, your obedience is the sound that unlocks scrolls, looses angels, shakes gates, and shifts futures. So stand in your living room, whisper in your car, type it in the comments if you have to, but make the atmosphere know. You are moving now. You are not missing this gate. You are not letting another scroll pass you by. You are choosing purpose over passivity, destiny over delay, faith over fear. This is your moment. Not next week. Not next year. Now. Because heaven doesn't wait on emotions. Heaven waits on engagement. Type I am activated in the comments if you are stepping forward now. Lesson code 1414 is breaking open sealed places and marking your motion with divine favor. You think you're just watching a video. You think this is just a powerful message. But what your eyes can't see and your ears can't hear is this. A transaction has already begun. Not with money, not with words, but with eternal weight. Right now, at this very second, there is a silent exchange happening in the spirit realm. While your body sits in silence, your spirit is speaking. While your hands are still, your obedience is moving heaven. This is not just a moment, it's a divine trade. Yes, something is being traded. Something is being transferred. Something is being reclaimed. All that was delayed, all that was withheld, all that was stolen during your distracted seasons, it is now being negotiated back into your hands. While you were unaware, demons were trading your peace for anxiety, your focus for confusion, your hunger for complacency. While you were caught in cycles, contracts were signed in the dark that tried to convince the heavens that you forfeited your calling. But Archangel Michael never stopped standing. He stood between what you lost and what still belonged to you. He guarded scrolls that had your name on them, scrolls that were almost snatched by accusation, almost buried under silence, almost traded away by your own hesitation. And now, because you paused, because you opened your heart, because you responded to the call, those scrolls are being returned. This moment is not emotional hype. It's spiritual legality. The heavens operate in order, in record, in witness. And the moment you said yes, it triggered a reversal in the courts of the Spirit. Angels began to retrieve what was held up. Delays began to crumble. Chains that were signed into your lineage through ignorance began to crack. The resistance that once sat on your shoulders is now bowing to the authority of your activation. And all of this, all of it, is happening in silence. And no one sees it. And no one hears it. But your spirit knows it. That's why you feel this weight right now. That's why tears came out of nowhere. That's why your heart is pounding even though you're sitting still. Because the exchange is not loud, it is holy. It's sacred. It's the kind of moment that angels watch in awe. It's the kind of moment where your future is being rewritten not with words but with willingness. Do not underestimate what is unfolding right now just because you can't see it. What was lost is being restored. What was forfeited is being required. What was locked is being reopened. Because obedience has a sound, and yours was heard. This is the part most people miss. The part where everything looks calm in the natural, but heaven is in full motion. You won't always feel fireworks. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs come in still silence, when the spirit realm is louder than the world around you. And right now, there are angels negotiating for what was yours. Conversations are being silenced that once accused you. Doors are being reopened that you thought were gone forever. The scrolls that were buried under distraction are now being brought to the surface because your spirit responded even before your mind could catch up. You were not late. You were not disqualified. You were not forgotten. You were being prepared for this precise exchange. Everything the enemy said was lost is being transferred back into your destiny. With interest, with favor, with acceleration. Because this is how heaven works. When you finally say yes, it doesn't just forgive delay, it redeems the time. So remain still. Remain open. Let the Holy Spirit continue the work even after this message ends. Don't rush away from the screen. Don't jump into the next distraction. Let your spirit remain in posture, because the exchange isn't over. It's only just begun. Type "I receive the exchange" in the comments if you sense this silent transaction taking place. Blessing code 2323 is now resting upon your restoration. Heaven does not forget, and justice is never denied. It is only delayed until divine timing strikes the earth like lightning. And right now, in this very moment, divine reversal is in motion. Every scroll you ignored, every message you skipped, every sign you misunderstood, heaven saw it. Not with anger, not with condemnation, but with calculation, with mercy, with strategy. You see, when you delayed, God didn't cancel. He repositioned. When you hesitated, He didn't disqualify you. He recalibrated the timeline for your return. And now, because you heard, because you paused, because you responded to the final warning, justice is being activated in your favor. You don't need to fight for vindication. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to replay every mistake in your head. Because the moment you realigned, heaven released a judgment over your life, and it was not judgment unto punishment, but judgment unto restoration. What distraction stole, God multiplies back. What delay cost you, God redeems in acceleration. You are not reaping what you deserve. You are reaping what Christ paid for. The enemy wants you to think it's too late, that your silence sealed your stagnation. But the Lord is saying, no. I was watching the whole time. I saw the battle behind the scenes. I saw what you didn't say. I saw what came against you when you tried to obey. And now, I move on your behalf. Justice in the Spirit is not like justice in the world, and doesn't come with noise. It doesn't come with drama. It comes with a shifting of weight. It comes with the tipping of divine scales. And right now, those scales are tipping for you. Archangel Michael has not only watched your warfare, he has weighed your response. He has stood in the place between accusation and promise, and he has drawn the sword on behalf of your obedience. Heaven is not ignoring your process. Heaven is honoring it. There were places you should have broken, but you didn't. There were moments you almost gave in, but you stayed. And even in the delay, even in the days you couldn't pray, even in the moments when you felt your yes was still inside you, it never died, and just waited. And now, that yes is releasing recompense. Yes, recompense. God is not just restoring what was lost. He is repaying you for the delay. He is overruling the time you thought was wasted. He is compressing the recovery of what you forfeited. He is multiplying back what distraction tried to devour. The years the locust said, pierced. The doors that slammed shut, reopened. The clarity that once felt out of reach, delivered. The energy you lost in mental loops, divined. The enemy thought he had your rhythm. He thought the scroll would be ignored forever. But what he forgot is that one yes can reverse 1,000 no's. One moment of obedience can unravel years of interference. One moment of clarity can birth a lifetime of purpose. You don't need revenge. You need restoration. And that's exactly what God is releasing now. This is spiritual justice, and it has your name written on it. So do not shrink. Do not apologize. Do not doubt the reversal that's happening. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not shaking the heavens. You may not feel the earthquake yet, but trust me, in the Spirit, The tectonic plates of your destiny have already begun to shift. You're not being skipped. You're being speed shifted. You're not starting over. You're being restored. You're not repaying time. Time is returning to you with interest. This is the season where heaven proves that delay was never denial. It was a setup for divine justice. Type "My reversal has begun" in the comments if you feel the scales tipping in your favor. Blessing code 3030 is now releasing supernatural justice over your entire timeline. You made it. Not by accident. Not by scrolling your way here. You were drawn. Chosen. Marked for this moment. And now, as the final words of this message settle in your spirit, let the heavens confirm what you already know deep inside. This was never just a video, this was a visitation. Archangel Michael has watched your hesitations. He stood guard at the gate of your destiny, even as your attention wandered and your hunger faded. He has seen what no one else could. The war within, the cries you never voiced, the battle behind your silence. And yet, through it all, he stayed. He guarded the scrolls that had your name. He shielded the opportunities the enemy tried to hijack. He protected what you didn't even realize was still yours. And now, your obedience has triggered a shift that cannot be undone. Heaven is moving. Angels are marching. Scrolls are opening. And your name is echoing through chambers you never thought you'd reach. What was once locked is now loose. What was once buried is now breathing again. And the gate, that sacred, divine gate, it's still open but only for a little while longer. So don't just feel the fire, follow it. Don't just be stirred, stay surrendered. Don't let this be a moment of emotion. Let this be a moment of motion. You've been called. You've been warned. You've been prepared. Now walk it out. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. Go forward with boldness, with clarity, and with holy conviction. The scroll is open. The gate is ready. And heaven has already said yes. Now the rest is up to you. Type "I receive" the final sealing in the comments to close this divine exchange. Blessing code 8888 is now covering your path with supernatural direction and favor. If this message sealed something in your spirit, if you know this was more than a word, it was your moment of realignment, then help us take this flame and light someone else's path before the gate closes on them too. This is how souls are rescued, not by content, but by commission messages. And by your help, this word reaches the one still trapped in delay and silence. Heaven is watching for givers who give not from pressure, but from purpose. Those who sow into messages like this are sowing into deliverance, into divine reversals, into gates being opened for others. God says in Malachi 3, "Bring the full tithes and see if I will not open the windows of heaven. Let your giving today become the sound that triggers open windows for someone else." I felt led to tell you, this is fertile ground. You can support through YouTube Super Thanks, membership, or by planting a seed through the PayPal link in the video description. As you do, may heaven multiply your obedience with divine clarity, with swift justice, and with irreversible activation. So now, activate your scroll. Become the reason someone else wakes up before it's too late. Heaven is moving. Partner with it.